I'm Deputy Gugisberg. This is in reference to SJSO 250FF004827 in reference to Mr. Matthew Ross versus Saint Correction staff. Can you please state your name?
Alexandra Pillay.
Okay. Can you tell me your job title and what school you work for? And can you tell me when this incident started for you?
It started the Friday before Thanksgiving in November. So it was right after the bell rang. One of our teachers, Mr. James Stoner, came to my office and said that a student had written the N-word on the board, and he identified the student as who was the son of Matthew Ross. And he basically said that he had called the parents, let the parents know I had said that, was really upset, and I had counseled him and said, in the future, please let us handle that because this is a kind of a big thing. So, but it's the day before Thanksgiving, so we'll deal with that after break. At 3 o'clock that day, Mr. Ross came to campus. I was the only one available to meet with him, so I met with him, his fiance, and in speaking to them, he was very upset. I had been accused of this and said, would never do this, and I let him know, I hear you, but at this time there's nothing I can do. No one's on campus, everyone has left for break, so I need to do an investigation, but I will do that after break.
Okay.
No one's on campus. So I did the investigation when we got back from Thanksgiving break, and it turns out Mr. Stoner did not see it for himself. It was reported to him by a student because he was not in the room at the time, which was another issue that we dealt with him. But so I alerted Mr. Ross that it was unfounded. We had no evidence to corroborate that he had in fact written anything, and so there were no consequences. There was no punishment. There was nothing. He did not get in any trouble at all.
Okay.
I guess that wasn't enough. He wanted to know exactly. He wanted Mr. Stoner fired. He wanted to then know exactly what we were going to do, what consequences he was going to have. And so when I spoke with him on the phone, I told him, I cannot tell you because of privacy, and he says, you fucking work for me, I pay your salary. I can tell you what to do. And that's when I said, sir, if you're going to continue to cuss at me over the phone, I'm going to end the conversation now. So he calmed down, and we were able to then talk through the rest, which involved switching his son out of the class into a different class so he wouldn't have Mr. Stoner anymore. And that's kind of where it ended. I followed up with an email to kind of recap what our conversation was.
Okay.
And that was kind of where it stopped on my end. And I did not hear from him again until I was alerted on April 29th to the website of which I am on, asking for Mr. Stoner to be fired and calling myself and Ms. Carnell accomplices in him being a child abuser for I don't know what reason.
Okay.
Just on there, just calling me a child abuser, a lady, and then, just hearing his videos, how he would call me out. He's outside the school. I saw him impeding traffic and get into an altercation with parents during dismissal. And then in that same video, he said, calls me out by name along with Miss Carnell and Mr. Stoner and says, where are you? Come out of your cage. Come and meet me. Why don't you meet me? I love the physical. I wish you would.
Right.
To which I then felt threatened by this because this is some man calling me out. It then escalated to getting emails from him, of which completely full of vulgarity, of which he's calling me a shit stain, a fucking cunt. He says in one of the emails, I really want to know, how does it make you feel when someone comes down on you so hard you can't fucking breathe, you can't think, you can't take a breath, you can't sleep, you can't look anyone in the eye? How does it feel to know everyone hates you now that they're finding out how you treat our children? How does it feel to be a child abuser being exposed to the world? And how does it feel to be a public employee owned by me and the kids when we figure out who you are? I really want to know. I feed off the pain of pieces of shit, so please indulge me. They're just documenting you dumb shits, didn't follow the process. All of this is more and more cuss words of, and I've never responded. He then continues to post videos of which he calls us out, calls me by name. He then, the same day, I got 3 emails, and it was all on May 6th. I got 3 emails from him, none of which I responded to. He called the school and left a voicemail, and then he sent an email and said in here that I hate child molesters, mental, physical, emotional, doesn't fucking matter to me. All the same, you all ruin children and turn them into angry, confused adults. Will some, not all of us, lose our willingness and even eagerness to fuck you child molesters up any chance I get? So, given that he had just called me a child molester, and then he said he's going to fuck child molesters up, that I also took as a threat. And then, you know, he was served the trespass, to which I guess he had some more emails. Supposedly his email was blocked from me, but I still got emails. And then I got a gem yesterday from him, in which he was going off about how stupid we are. He called me the bell end, which means the head of a penis, I've learned.
Oh, gross.
Yeah, because it looks like a bell,
Yeah.
apparently. It's a British term. Alexandra Pillay, who fuck that asshole I don't even feel like making up a name for, and then says, well, quite simply, fuck you. You think an email with an attachment from some dickhead who is a pussy, who's such a pussy he can't even get a phone call with a pissed off dad who has every right to be pissed and deserves some answers, somehow is more powerful than people with guns? And so now he's referencing guns. And so this is just continued from a website to now a man in front of our school with a sign, to a man in front of our school with a sign live streaming, to then all of that, and then yelling at people during dismissal, who now has a bullhorn and is now continuing to ramp up his threats and emails by first cussing at us, then saying he's going to fuck us up, and now talking about guns. So it is continuing to escalate.
And clearly this affects normal life. Is it affecting your life?
Dad already admitted that he recorded our conversation in November, which I didn't know.
Okay. Is there anything else you feel would be substantial at this moment to add? Like the post that you read to me from your phone, is that on Facebook?
So that is from an email that he sent.
Like a personal email?
It is a personal email that he sent to myself, the principal, the teacher, media at St. John Sheriff's Office,
Okay.
and Dr. Kyle Dresbach.
Okay.
I know that all of the other stuff he's posted on Facebook, so he's been posting and slandering and our names on Facebook to everybody.
I need to make sure I understand. So your email address that you're saying is personal, is that your school email?
Oh, it's my school email
Okay.
address. Yes, it's my school email address that he is.
But he hasn't sent anything personally to your house. He doesn't have access to that information. So other than, the county website explaining who you are, that's the only information he would be provided.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay. So.
But he's so volatile that we even talked about an injunction, and but he clearly has no regard for what anyone tells him.
Yeah.
So what's to say that he then wouldn't come to our house, or he wouldn't come to. He seems to be so out of control and ramped up, he doesn't care. So it's like now I don't even feel like that protection is an option because he's so out of control and it is continuing to get worse and worse and escalate instead of the other way. And he also made comments in one of the emails about like, you think I'm going away, I have plans for the summer. Come summertime, we're here, but we don't have anyone else here with us.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not very settling either, to know that
It's
it's
another
only
stressor.
12-month employees here, and so then how much of my summer am I going to spend looking out the window?
Right.
And if we see him out there, then, just all of those things that you try not to think about, but that cross your mind.
I agree. Okay. Ms. Pillay, I appreciate your time today with your interview. If there's anything else, please let me know. This is the end of our recording.